Good evening, ladies and gentlemen, and welcome along to another Monday night with SOP. And we're here for the finale. It's the SOP Motorsport WTCR Championship. And the final round will be brought to us from Sonoma Raceway. It is, as I say, the final round, and the competition pretty much been the Luciano Whitvet show as we crack on. Dr. Nailbender in the chat. Good evening. How are you doing, good sir? Good to have you back. Good to see you in for tonight's race. Should be an absolute cracker. WTCRs never fail to disappoint. Let me just make sure I push the right buttons. As I've said, it is very much been the Luciano Whitvet show. 12 races so far with the reverse order grids included. 11 wins to his name. Safe to say, crowned champion. Lloyd Budulf has led the charge of the drivers, and a magnificent job he's done of it as well, with a clear 70-point gap ahead of Matteo Catalan there in third place. Fabio Pereira in fourth, with Lee Horn in fifth, Sam Shelton in sixth, Ian Egan in seventh place. Then it is Kowalski in eighth, Marcus Juzma in ninth. Ross Stance, I believe, no longer in the competition, unfortunately, which means that Lee Taylor is promoted to 10th position. The drivers are out on track, taking part in their qualifying session. We don't need that. And it is actually Lloyd Budulf that is leading the way. At the moment here at Sonoma, 144.6, a 3/10 gap over Frank Van Roon, making his debut in the series. The last race, but still good to get one under your belt. Kowalski is in third place. We've got Gill in fourth, Shelton in fifth, Withers in sixth place, Paul Stinger in seventh, Lovas currently in eighth, Bell in ninth, Gallagher in 10th place, Bagist, Spezvar and Ben Sullivan yet to set times. There is Ben Sullivan there. Let me just check how that sound is. Maybe put the engines up a little bit. There we go. Big announcements to come as well for the next season. And that's why my glasses aren't fitting. The legs came off. Haha. Yeah, next season of Race Room, we've got some phenomenal announcements. Make sure you keep an eye on the Discord, Discord to get involved in the racing. ACC and Race Room. !ACC will take you to our SimGrid page. And !Race Room will take you to our simracing.gp page. And you can find all the active leagues that we've got running at the moment. But yeah, I do have some insider information about what we've got coming in the race room space, and believe you me, you definitely want to get involved, so keep an eye on the notifications. We've got 4 minutes left of qualifying. 2 races this evening, as always. The second being a reverse order grid. Oh yeah, everyone's favourite. Hey, there is Jixer in the chat as well. Good evening, how are my fellow cowboys? Is it 10 to 10? No, 10 to 8. Almost time. There is Budulf in the pits, and we've seen Lazio Spezar make his way up to second place. Almost half a second off Budulf, so Budulf really showing some dominance around the Sonoma Raceway. I do feel like something's missing now. We have got a slight difference in the broadcasting software. There was an update. We don't mind new things, but a bit of warning would be nice. And yeah, we're definitely not on pit wall at the moment, so I'll remove that. There we go. Yes, the qualifying is still underway. Van Roon restarts his lap. It is a close qualifying session, so the drivers do get the track all to themselves. So you don't see 40 pros bunching up to within 3/10 of one another around the whole qualifying lap. 2 minutes 40 to go. Badulf looking to extend his gap. Spevs are still got time. 2 minutes 30 left on the clock. Kovalevsky, Sullivan, Gallagher, and Bagas have set time. Sorry, Sullivan yet to set a time. Sullivan yet to set a time. Gallagher and Bagas have. Mr. SOP himself. The little Cooper that couldn't quite. Says me that sits in the comedy box, but there we go. Gallagher. Doc, how did you find the racing room last night? After I unceremoniously fell asleep. I heard there might be issues with your race, but yeah. Racing, what am I talking about? On Twitch, I mean, on Twitch. If the bots were working, can we do a shout out? I'm not sure. R Factor 2, that's right, yeah, R Factor 2. Shows you how asleep I was. Sullivan, he has got a time. Only 13 for the final round, unfortunately. Sullivan he's got himself a time. He's gone up to 10th place. Badul's time looking better and better as the session comes to a close. Just having a look at the sectors. A lot of invalidated laps. Badulf in, so that'll be him done with his qualifying session. Frank Van Roon, he comes in as well, so he's done with qualifying as well. Spevar, another one making his debut in the series this evening. Still out on track. Lova, Sullivan and Bagas out on track as well. The majority of the drivers into the pits. And that is that done then. Invalidated lap, and it is Badulf that takes the top spot for Trip 6 Motorsport. 1 minute 44.1, a tenth and a half ahead of Van Roon, who certainly gave it his best in the closing stages here. Just under half a second is Laszlo Spevar in third, and it is Kovalevsky, Jill, Shelton and Withers starting 4th through 7th. Ben Sullivan's going to start on row number 4, and on row 5 it'll be Paul Stinger in 9th and Sabux Lovas in 10th place. Simon Bagas on row number 6, side by side with Chris Bell, he of Sausage Dodger fame, and Craig Gallagher will start in 13th position. The drivers will have an ever so quick warm-up lap. So we will have an ever so quick boogie to the cool music. Let's see. Ransom Caymans. I thought we were talking time. Lost concentration trying to hit the number 8 on my keyboard to bring up the tyre info and bend it. Oosh. Finished P28-29 here. At least we made it to the end. Kane and I ran F3s at Kailami. Wow. Right, I need to get my wheel working. F3s at Kailami. Is that a thing on R Factor? Kane got a P2 and I was P4. Nice. I've been down that one as well. At least you're consistent, Doc. That's how I started my sim racing career. Look at me, I finished the race once. Nice. I'm just here to see those cars rolling on the roof on the curb. My money is on 3 cars. There we go. Any advance on 3? We have 3 cars in the chat from Mr. Jigsaw. We're about to have 13 cars on the track. No, warm-up stalled. Good luck in the finale. Oh, let's keep it clean, says Marcus Jusma. Another recent convert from ACC to the room of race. Here we go then. Formation lap, full stealth mode. Cars will appear momentarily. Yeah, there we go. Sorry, we're just waiting on the drivers to ready up. There we go. And we'll very quickly be underway. The lights are preparing. And away we go, and it's a good start by all, although slightly slow on row number 2 there. The takeoff from Kowalewski, he's found himself very quickly swamped. Fabio Gill in the background having to do a bit of defending there as well. So too Sam Shelton. Simon Baggis going 3 wide in the background there. Doesn't quite get that move done as Paul Stinger holds on to 9th position. Baggis losing out to Lovis there. Badolf showing a clean pair of heels straight off the start line. He's got Van Roon in 2nd, Spevar in 3rd, Fabio Gill in 4th place. Kowaleski's in 5th, Shelton in 6th, Withers in 7th, Ben Sullivan in 8th place at the moment. Then Stinger finds himself in 9th, and Lovis and Baggis having an absolute ding-dong battle in the opening stages. Oh, and that's a big wiggle by Baggis. Can't quite get the car under control there. Back end steps out. Baggis dropped down to last place as Gallagher comes through. So it is Badulf, Van Roon and Spevar that are leading the way off the podium. Spevar getting a nice bit of gap back to Fabio Gill. He's got Kowalewski and Sam Shelton either side of him. Sam was by the Cupras. And the Hyundai is Sam Shelton right in the middle there. He's got another one just in front in Fabio Gill. And not too far back as well as Ben Sullivan. Oh, and that is a big run off the track then. That is Lovas then. Getting right out on the dirty stuff. He's going to want to avoid as many penalties. Another off-track penalty as Paul Stinger makes himself up a position. Up in the 9th place then for El Waspe. Stinger up into 9th. Sullivan now the driver just ahead of him. Van Roon doing his best to hang on to the back of Lloyd Badulf. Badulf doing all the running, and now that he doesn't have Luciano Whitford in front of him, it looks like he is the dominant force over the rest of the league. 6/10 of a gap already. Spevar trying to hang on to the back of Van Roon. The podium drivers trying their best to break away. Fabio Gill doing his best to hang on. Kowaleski and Sam Shelton certainly helping that with the battle that they're involved in just behind. Andy Withers likely to get involved in this one pretty soon as well. None of that's working. Okay, that's all changed. Who we're on board with? We're on board with Fabio Gill, watching Spevar and Van Roon just ahead, battling away. The final two podium positions up for grabs there in the background as well, sorry. Chris Bell. Oh, he was very close to Lovas, and now spread out ever so slightly. Withers as well, getting a bit close to the driver ahead. That is Sam Shelton. He's closed in on there. Stinger now 3.4 seconds down on that battle, but up at the front still podium positions in contention as Spevar and Van Roon half a second apart up at the front, and Badulf 1.5 seconds ahead, a second ahead. It's certainly over a second, between 1 and 1.5 seconds at the moment, so he is doing all the running he can. Withers, as we can see, the giant 79 on his screen. Well, there we go, you can see the battle just ahead of him. Shelton, Kowaleski and Gill. No cars rolled on their head yet, but we do have the reversal of their grid, and we're going to see some very fast drivers make their way through the field. Kowaleski still chasing Gill best he can, and Spevar doing everything he can to get one over on Van Roon. Sullivan as well, he's closed up on Paul Stinger actually. He's making his way through the field up into 9th position, or down to 9th from where he started. Himself and Stinger have of course swapped positions since the start. Sullivan, ooh, looking to put that one over. Oh, almost did have a car on the roof there, Jacks. As Sullivan goes up the inside, it was almost two cars there. Sullivan clipped the curb, Stinger clipped the curb as well, ran wide to steady the car, and it is Sullivan back up to 8th position. Stinger in 9th. Both cars got all four wheels firmly still on the tarmac. Kowaleski trying to get further inside the top 5 past Fabio Gill. There's now 1.6 between first and second, and 1.9 between second and third. In fact, 1.4, yeah. So the gap's up at the front, certainly spreading out at the moment. Kowaleski still looking. The closest driver to try and get an overtake. Let's jump on board with him. It's Fabio Gill that is ahead of him. Again, much like Sullivan and Stinger, these two have swapped places from where they've started. Kowaleski will no doubt be looking to right that into the hairpin. Good entry by both drivers. Looks like a very good exit by Kowaleski right on the edge of the track there. Gill taking the correct line to fend off any advances mid-corner. Paul Stinger has got himself caught back up to Ben Sullivan again there. Or just out the hairpin there. I don't think he quite got the drive he was hoping for. That gap now stretched out to almost a second there. Kowaleski is closing that gap once again. The cameraman does like the long angle, doesn't he? Here is Kowaleski coming up the hill. Unbelievably tricky track, this Sonoma, downhill into an almost hairpin. Right back onto yourself, another very quick apex. No curber on the inside, over a crest of yet another hill. We're only halfway into the lap, downhill yet again. Very reminiscent of Willow Springs. Just slightly more grass. But it is that Kowaleski is still trying to close in on Fabio Gill and retake that position. 1.9 seconds now separating Badulf and Van Roon, and an equilibrious 2 seconds between Van Roon and Spezar. So the podium, Spevar, sorry. So the podium now spread out by almost 5 seconds. Kowaleski is still hanging in there. This looks like it's going to be the battle for the rest of the race. I'll spread it down the rest of the field as well. Although Sullivan is back behind Stinger, so there was an overtake there as well. Stinger back in front of Sullivan. The lone Audi driver, Andy Withers, is not a big fan of this track in the Discord. It's a good start. Excellent use. Streamlab times me out every time. How are you doing, Barmy Gamer? Welcome in. I don't know why the camera is suddenly just stopping there. Let's see what's happening. There we go. Paul Stinger still defending from Sullivan then. And Kowaleski right on the back of Gill. Is he going to get it done this time around? Look how close he's got to that Hyundai. Following him down the hill into the hairpin once again. So many off-camber braking and acceleration points on this course. And the right-hander, look at the run he's got. Trying to force us side by side down the hill. He opened up. Is he going to get the cut back? Looking for the grip, can't quite find it. Down the hill he goes. Lobas picking up another penalty as well, actually. I'm wondering. I thought you'd be able to see the penalty counts, but for some reason. Oh, but I can't penalise people. Should we give Simon Bagas a penalty? Oh, get in trouble. We're going to do that in the second race. We'll give him a warning. But let's keep an eye on the race. The cameraman again at that corner, not keen on watching the action. Lloyd Badulf at 1.6 seconds now, so the gap has dropped ever so slightly. Not it extends again. Straight out of that hairpin. Back to that 2 seconds. Van Roon still in second with Spevar. It's still in third place. Gill still up that one position and still fending off the advances of Kowaleski. But Sam Shelton is still in sixth position. Paul Stinger in seventh, with Ben Sullivan still trying to hunt him down. Chris Bell in ninth. It's Simon Bagas in 10th place. Lovas in 11th. Gallagher is in 12th. And Withers, unfortunately, DQ'd due to penalty points, but he will be back on the front row of the grid in the second race, which starts in just over 10 minutes. Full reverse order grid. I know we do love the cockpit cam and stuff, but I've got to be honest, they've taken away the front splitter cam. I don't understand why they've done that. Unless I'm missing some of the sense, I will have another look. I do love a random update. There we go. Give him a 30-second drive-through. Yeah, there we go. We'll vote in the chat. Stop and go plus 60. Excellent. Well, the viewers get what the viewers want, Simon. So yes, in the second race when you're starting out at the front. But we'll wait till the second race because he's actually going to be starting on the second row of the grid in race 2. So we'll wait until he's... Oh, look how close Kowaleski is getting to get into that hairpin again. Ben Sullivan picking up another slow-down penalty for track limit abuse. That's going to come with penalty points. Definitely don't want to be getting DQ. He's now 2.4 seconds down on Paul Stinger. So Paul Stinger keeping it nice, clean and consistent. And he's now in 7th place. So he's actually up to as Chris Bell has dropped down due to slow-down penalties. Ben Sullivan picking up another slow-down penalty. So he really is going to have to watch what he's doing now. He's going to fall back into the clutches of Chris Bell. That's not easy to say. Right, let's see what happens. Okay, send warning. Ah, that's very clever. Yeah, you can't actually dish it stop. Yep, we're going to have fun with that in a second. It's Kowaleski then. Still trying to find his way past Gill. Great drive by Stinger so far. Up those 2 places. Chris Bell falling foul of the judges. But so too Ben Sullivan. And he is closing back in, although that's now back out to 3 seconds there. So it's Kowaleski still the closest driver on track. Once again into the hairpin. Oh, and he's got him look up the inside then. He's been gifted that apex. It looks like Gill ran a bit wide on entry there and opened the door for Kowaleski to step through. Couldn't quite get the exit he want. Gill on the inside line, on the outside line on the exit, sorry, still able to get the power down nice and smoothly. Races up the hill again. You can see just what I'm talking about when I'm saying off-camber braking points up this hill. Left, right, left through turn 5 through 6. Definitely not. Again, this section is so reminiscent of Willow Springs. I think Doc would agree with that. Evening, can you add ballast? I'm thinking you should add 7 tons. Turn Simon into a truck, says Floppy Flops. Alright, so what I can actually do is we can give him a slow down penalty, a drive-through penalty, a stop and go penalty, or a disqualification. Those are the options available to us for race number 2. He does have a 4-second lead. Oh, up the inside again, running deep by Gill, comes right across to close the door though. Got the car beautifully positioned on that racing line. Kowaleski looking for any opportunity to get this position retaken. All of the above, says Johnny Bissett. Just do them all in order. Oh yeah, going to get myself into so much trouble. Kowaleski into the hairpin once again. How close is he going to get this time? Right out on the left hand side to open the corner up as much as possible to try and get that inside cut back. Really didn't get the power down smoothly there. That extra pull on the steering wheel robbed him of all his momentum. Gill is now going to have the biggest gap he's had so far in the race. Ben Sullivan picking up another slow down penalty. He really is going to have to be careful. Those penalty points are going to be amassing at an unbelievable rate of knots. Yeah, he's definitely going to have to be careful. Still Badulf comfortably leading the way. As quick, clean and as consistent as you can get. Where is? There it is. Oh, Lovas picking up another slow down penalty. He's 40 seconds off the pace. Okay, give me 2 seconds. Let's just try this then. Oh, it's not linked. Oh no, so I can't send. Alright, okay, no, so it does say they've got the options there, but apparently there is an extension that I need to add before I can actually dish out penalties, unfortunately. There is a car being lapped. Let's jump back on board with Kowaleski, still trying to find his way past that Hyundai. There's a couple of corners where he's definitely making good ground. He's closed right back up once again. We've never done this track, but it looks like fun and flowing. I think once you get into the flow of it, it definitely would be a good track. For me, it looks like it could be very tricky to learn. A lot of unsighted apexes. Nice big roller coaster there. That banker on the side looks like fun. Clearly California with your beautiful brown grass. That sounds about right. Still chasing one another. It's still Kowaleski trying to retake that position from the start. Thanks to the penalties, we've seen Ben Sullivan has been DQ'd. 3-star extra. So Sullivan's been DQ'd through penalty points, and Forsey Gallagher in 11th position then. Lovas in 10th, Bagas in 9th. He is actually closing in 1.8 seconds now down to Chris Bell, who's picked up a couple of penalties as well. Paul Stinger in 7th, Sam Shelton in 6th. It is Kowaleski in 5th place. Fabio Gill still hanging on as they make their way through the blue flags. Yeah, some of those Sandhills do get right up on that banking. I give it a bit of tail slide. On the podium though it is Spevar Van Roon, and Lloyd Bedoulf. 2.3 seconds now he is up the road, just under 2 minutes left to go. Absolutely flawless performance from Bedoulf here at the Sonoma Raceway. And he is going to pick up a second race win of the series. See, 1 minute 30 left to go, so 1 minute 44 lap. Not 100% sure where right on the lap he is, but he should get another one. Van Roon now 2.5 seconds down the road. Kowaleski still on the back of Fabio Gill. Still can't find a way past. Fabio has clocked a faster race lap so far. He has been in that full defend mode. Chris Bell up 4 positions. Also with the penalties, he did drop back down and lost a couple. But he has made a few back up. Bagas has made up a position or two as well since he started, especially with Sullivan and Withers both being DQ'd because of penalty points. Those off tracks really will kill you. Yeah, the closing battle, 33 seconds left to go. Is Kowaleski going to be able to manage something in the closing stages? Right in the closing stages, Lloyd Bedoulf. He's got this one all good. Lovas picking up another penalty as well. Sullivan and Withers are going to start on the front row of the grid for the next race. Bedoulf making his way through the end of the lap. Let's see if Kowaleski's managing to get this done before the end of the race. He is so close. They've got Spevar not too far up the road as well. He is right on the back. The Hyundai looking to break the Cupra dominance in the top 5. He's done an amazing job so far. Let's see if we can catch Badulf crossing the line. Will Koleski get this done in the closing stages? There's Badulf catching up to Gallagher, I believe that is, at the back of the field. Lovas, sorry. So he's catching up to Lovas. Oh, he's having a look up the inside. They're side by side. He's on that apex. He's left the next apex for Gill. They're still going at it. Kovalevsky really isn't going to let this one go until the end. Lloyd, Badulf, Sam Shelton picking up a penalty in the closing stages. It's going to be Lloyd, Badulf picking up the win. Straight up the inside. Lovas with another penalty. Oh, Gill and Kovalevsky are trading positions then. But it is Gill who's still got his nose out in front. He's still in that 4th place. And coming round the last corner, it is going to be Lloyd Badulf taking the checkered flag. Tim Cook levels enthusiasm there from the race director. Frank Van Roon comes across the line to take 2nd place. Oh, Spevar. What happened to Spevar? Did he carry a penalty across the line? Fabio Gills finished in 3rd place. Koleski in 4th. Spevar in 5th. Shelton in 6th. Stinger in 7th. Chris Bell is going to finish in 8th place. Simon Bagas close behind in 9th. Lovas in 10th. And Gallagher in 11th. I completely missed Spevar dropping down the order there, but there we go. He has indeed dropped down to 5th position. No penalties across the line. Lloyd Badulf with the fastest lap of 1:44.043. Gill and Kovalevsky, in fact, 1:45.3, both of them. Their fastest lap time, separated by a few thousands there. But yeah, complete confusion for me. Spevar down to 5th, Shelton 6th, Stinger, as I say, up to 7th place. Bell up to 8th, Bagas 9th, and Lovas rounding out the top 10. Gallagher in 11th, Sullivan and Withers, unfortunately, DQ'd due to an accumulation of too many penalty points for off-track excursions. So that was the penultimate race. It gives Lloyd Badulf a 2nd win of the series. As I say, it's been the Luciano Whitbit Show. 12 races so far, 11 wins. It's strange to me it's come up with that load screen. It's kicked me out. Yeah, sorry, give me 2 seconds. Yeah, I'm confused as to why that happened. There we go. We will quickly jump back in. No. There we go. Yeah, not sure why the server closed there. We should have gone straight into race 2. Hopefully we don't miss the start. The drivers do have a 1-minute warm-up period. There we go, but are back in. That was a bit strange. Let me just make sure I get things set. Yep, the cars are definitely all in. Perfect. As I say, it is a reverse order grid for race number 2. So the 13 cars will swap their starting positions. That's still running. We're just waiting on the warm-up to end. They'll jump onto the grid. And here they go then. As I say, this should be reverse order. Hopefully that little server issue hasn't caused any problems with the setup. But as I say, this will be the final race. Exclamation mark Discord in the chat. Get yourself involved in the racing for next season. Some incredible incentives to get involved with the race room. Yeah, the cars any second should start. There we go. Excellent. Okay, I genuinely was starting to get a bit worried there, not going to lie. It is Sonoma Raceway. It is race number 14, round number 7. It's a good start. Oh, and that is somebody stood completely stationary on the line there. It's Gallagher. I think he's missed the start of that race then. And Gallagher tumbles down the order. Lloyd Woodulf already up 2 positions then, thanks to that. Looking to go round the outside, 3 wide up turn number 3 is Woodulf and Van Roon trying to make their way through the field. Spevar getting caught out there ever so slightly. He's run off the track and come back down through the order into 12th position. Gill, Van Roon and Kowaleski then up to 8th position. Lloyd Woodulf already up to 7. He is charging through the field as he goes side by side with Paul Stinger then. As Andy Withers still leading the way. Ben Sullivan in second. Lovas, who's in third. Simon Baggis in 4th place, who we're on board with at the moment. But it is Lovas looking to improve and get himself onto the podium at the expense of Ben Sullivan. They're going to go side by side. Is Lovas going to get this one done around the outside at the turn at number 8? Heavy on the brakes. Right over that inside curve for... Oh, and he's got him right up the inside. A little bit of contact, and that is a straight move through by Lovas. Then, bit of contact on the inside. Baggis picking up a slow down penalty. Kowaleski, well, that's been going on. He's been overtaken by Van Roon and Chris Bell. Lloyd Woodulf now up to 6th position then, as he goes 3 wide with Shetland and Gill. Oh my goodness. That is him, right off the track there. Comes back up the inside. A little bit of contact there. Baggis picking up another slow down penalty. He definitely needs to calm that down. We've already seen a couple of drivers ejected from the racing from race number 1, and he's in a good position at the moment because Woodulf is going to be picking up penalties as well. He's made his way through the field. He's up to 5th place already, but there has been a fair bit of contact and a couple of off tracks, so he could be on the verge, or certainly getting close. Picking up enough penalty points to get himself DQ'd if he's not careful. Baggis trying to put pressure on Ben Sullivan ahead. Ben holding on to that podium position with Lovas in 2nd place, and it's now Andy Withers, or still Andy Withers, leading the way at the moment. Fabio Gill has got Van Roon just behind him. Oh, he's looking at going 3 wide with Shelton and Woodulf ahead of him. That would not have been the wisest. As we jump on board there, you can see Shelton and Woodulf battling ahead of him. That's gone completely the wrong way. There we go. We can see Van Roon in the background. Kowaleski dropping off this battle then, but it's a solid train of 6 cars being led by, at the moment, by Ben Sullivan. In fact, we'll have a look over Ben's rear wing. The final podium position we're on board. We can see 2 wide in the background between Shelton and Van Roon once again. Lloyd Woodulf, the lead driver, chasing down the podium positions. He's 9 places up since the start of the race. Fabio Gill and Van Roon fully side by side. Oh, a big sideward slide there for Gill. Absolutely manages to hang on to that, but that's some phenomenal battling that's going on in the background. Simon Baggis now finds himself getting involved in this one. He's in 5th position. With Van Roon just ahead of him, and there's the battle he's got going on behind him. Shelton, Gill and Kowaleski. Gill and Kowaleski reigniting their battle from race number 1 straight into race number 2. Spevar with another slow down penalty. I'm guessing that might have been what cost him. Oh, as we see a couple of position changes there. Gill, Shelton, Kowaleski, Woodulf and Sullivan going side by side up at the front. Woodulf up several places right round the outside. What a move by Lloyd Woodulf. Up 10 places then on to the podium. And that is Sullivan and Baggis now chasing them. Baggis looking for a 5th place here. He's got some very quick drivers not far behind Kowaleski, Shelton and Gill. Having a great battle as well, as you can see on board with Sam Shelton. That is Gill ahead of him. Kowaleski right behind him. So he's got himself he's not got himself involved in that battle. I think Kowaleski has just got that move done there. He has indeed, so he will be free to chase down Gill once again. Lovas getting close to the race leader then. It's Withers who's led from the start of the reverse order grid. Baggis getting a move done on Van Roon as well, although Van Roon getting his nose back out in front, and Baggis may have left himself open to the counter-attack from Gill. Absolutely no room up the inside there for Gill, but he had to go at it anyway. Now the WTCR certainly robust machines in those kind of circumstances, and the drivers definitely testing the limits of that at the moment. Lloyd Badilf up into third place from 13th. For less than 4 minutes in, he's made it up 10 places, and he's looking to make that number 11 as Lovas coming under heavy attack in the hairpin. And beautifully plants on the apex. Listen to those tyres squealing as he gets that rotation on the exit. Beautiful move by Badilf. And you can see getting a phenomenal exit to within a second of the race lead already. It wasn't so long ago Lovas was within 4/10ths of the race lead. It's now Badilf doing all the chasing. Can Lovas use this to his advantage? We've seen a car down in the background. Who was that? Someone's just run. It's Baggis. That is Baggis off on the uphill left. The first uphill left of the track. And he's been ejected from the battle. 11th position. He's down to then. It's Sullivan and Van Roon going side by side. Fabio Gill and Kowaleski once again completely inseparable. Kowaleski has spent a race 1 and 2 chasing down Fabio Gill. They're now chasing down Ben Sullivan and Van Roon. And Badilf has taken the lead of the race. 5.5 minutes in. Beautiful double apex there. And look at that exit, instantly half a second ahead. And Lovas, I did wonder if he could follow through. He certainly used the slipstream from Badilf ahead, and he's got himself closed right in there on Withers, looking to improve on his podium position. Bag has just been overtaken by Spevar there, and it is Fabio Gill still looking to get past Ben Sullivan while fending off Kowaleski once again. Lovas has just got himself in a battle with Van Roon there. Van Roon just missing out, but he is going to get close again. And in the background is that's Sullivan and Fabio Gill this time. They're both in the same car. There's a lot of action going on there. Who's just planted himself in the middle? That is Kowaleski. Still trying to get past Gill. They've got themselves Van Roon still just ahead. Lovak's still on the back of Andy Withers, and Lloyd Badilf, now that he's got himself in the lead. Now he's got a 2.5 second gap already. Let's have a look at Ben Sullivan in the gun. Really need to bring back the front splitter cam. Don't know how that's supposed to work, but there we go. Ben Sullivan, you can see he's now joined in with the battle between Kowaleski and Gill. Phenomenal fighting between these two in race number 1. And they are keen to continue in race number 2. And there is the rear view mirror there, just see on the right hand side. So we'll get a quick look at what's going on behind. Gill closing right up to Van Roon as well. Van Roon not showing these drivers the clean pair of heels that he did in race number 1. Took himself a comfortable 2nd position. On for a 4th here, so still a great run in the 2nd race, but not able to break away from Gill and Kowaleski at the moment. Sullivan still keeping in touch, so too Sam Shell and Paul Stinger in 9th place at the moment, with Bell in 10th. It's Spevar in 11th, Baggis and Gallagher at 12th and 13th. Into the hairpin. Deja vu all over again. And I tell you what, Van Roon definitely didn't get the ending he wanted there, or perhaps he was using that as a defensive entry rather than going for the racing line, given how close the two cars behind that. Although you want to talk about close, There is what Andy Withers can see behind him. Second place he is in at the moment. 10 minutes left of this race. He's got Lovas, Van Roon, Gill and Koleski all very closely hunting him down, trying to take that position from him. Let's have a look at... So yeah, these 5 cars currently battling for 2 podium positions. Koleski, the rear gunner in the group. Sam Shelton just getting a move done on Ben Sullivan there in the background. So that is Shelton. That's him up to 7th position. He's now got Koleski ahead of him, but he does have Ben Sullivan absolutely nailed to the back of his car. And there's Fabio Gill up in front. Is that Lovas that's just run wide? Oh no, it's Andy Withers. He's just hanging on there. It looks like he ran right through the hairpin. And in the background, Lovas and Van Roon are going to go side by side, followed by Gill. Still, Koleski saying, oh, and that's a big off-track excursion there. He's going to get a big penalty for that as Lovas. That's going to lose him at least 1 position. And it is Van Roon and Gill. Gill not quite getting his nose in front. Yes, he does. Now Lovas finds himself in between Koleski and Gill then. Andy Withers loving what he is seeing at the moment. He's hanging on to the 2nd position, in the battle behind for 3rd is going to keep him there for an extra few corners at least. We can see Lovas has got Gill all over the back of him at the moment. So these 5, very, very little to separate them. Massive amounts to separate Badul from the rest of the field. 5.5 seconds. 9 minutes into the race, so we're halfway into the race, and it is Badul already lapping some of the field. 5.3 seconds, as I say, that gap is. Back with Koleski. Driver cam is slightly better. So you can still see 2 podium positions. If he can get past Lovas and Gill, he certainly puts Van Roon under a whole lot of pressure. Will need to work some absolute miracles on his corner exit, but definitely possible. Nice tight entry into turn number 7 along the straight into the sunshine as well. You can see the rays beaming off. Can't be nice for the drivers trying to find some of these hidden apex where it's sun beaming. That is Gallagher just being lapped by the field there. I thought it was one of the front runners. Dropping off. Andy Withers coming under increasing pressure from Frank Van Roon. He got a podium in race number 1. He's looking to get back into 2nd place in race number 2. Oh, has a look up the inside. Withers through the chicane does a great job of defending as best he can, but Van Roon still pestering. Look how close he's managing to get there. Unbelievable driving from Van Roon to try and get this overtaken. All they're doing is giving massive amounts of slipstream to Gill in the background. I think he's gone around the outside. Let's have a look. Van Roon up into 2nd position then. Beautiful move there to get himself back to back 2nd for Van Roon. So himself and Badul back to where they finished in race number 1. Amazing driving by them both. Withers still hanging on to that podium position. Oh, and look at Gill absolutely charging. Lovas still separating Koleski and Gill there. The rest of the field are pretty spread out, apart from Spevar, who's just overtaken Chris Bell. So that's a change for 10th place. Spevar up to 10th. He was on for a podium in race number 1 and found himself falling foul in the in-game stewards, I believe. And that's why too many slow down penalties. Hey, Vivid Global, how are you getting on? Thank you for tuning in. On all the WTCRs, it's the very last round. It's Andy Withers defending with the podium, and that's a car down. That's a car down. Is that Koleski? It's Koleski off track. Got a bit close to Lovas to avoid an action, and he is going to avoid taking 7th position as well, because Sam Shelton's going to say thank you very much and make his way cruisingly through. So that's Koleski. Sam was by Hyundai's once again, but it's Sullivan and Shelton this time. So Badulf, Van Roon, there's Badulf, there's Van Roon, and Andy Withers still on that podium. And it's now Fabio Gill looking to make it 3-4-3 from race number 1, right at the death of race number 1. Gill was promoted onto the podium by virtue of the fact that Spevar dropped down 3 places. He's now right behind Andy Withers in. Withers going for his first podium of the season. Might need to change that Captain Slow moniker he's got at the bottom. Having a big look is Gill. It's Lovas just behind Kowaleski. Looks like he might have Sam Shelton's number as well as those two. Getting very close. Kowaleski up the inside, and I think he's got the run on Shelton. He's going to have the outside line here. He does have his nose in front as across one of the start-finish lines at this course. And up the hill it is Shelton. Back in. Fabio Gill has jumped on board. Look how close he is getting to Withers at the moment. Withers finished last in race 1, started this race in first place. He's now fending off Gill for the final podium position. Gill himself fending off Lovas. So still got a three-way battle for one of the podium positions. Shelton still hanging on at the back of Kowaleski as well. Certainly not letting that one go. You see these three drivers formation into turn number 8 down the hill. Lovas getting a good run out again. You see the sunlight, the sun rays beaming through the trees. Up the inside. Oh, Lovas looking to follow Gill through on the exit. He's going to get the run. He's popped it on the inside. Oh, Gill and Withers go side by side. Slight bit of contact. Withers just hanging on to third place for the moment. There's now less than 3 tenths separating the final podium position. Oh, and that's a big sideways move by Withers then. The WTCR's being pushed to their absolute limits by these drivers. Oh, big look up the inside by Lovas later on the big. Oh, and that is a full-blown send. Don't like to make judgments on stream from first view, but pretty much guarantee that's going to be a penalty, I'm afraid. Big move, phenomenal battle in there, and hopefully Withers is still going down in 6th position though. Shelton and Kowaleski both making their way through. Fabio Gill back on the podium, so it's just as it was in race number 1 with Bedelf in first, Van Roon in 2nd, and Fabio Gill in 3rd position. Kowaleski in 4th, Sam Shelton in 5th, Andy Withers down into 6th place now. Ben Sullivan in 7th, Paul Stinger in 8th place, Spevar in 9th, Chris Bell in 10th, Chris Gallagher in 11th, Al Lovas and Bagas both DQ'd due to penalty points, unfortunately. Good action by the guys. Indeed, Vivid, there's been some incredibly close racing so far. A little bit of contact does seem to have put paid to most of that battle, though, with them spreading out fairly thinly at the moment. Stinger closing in on Ben Sullivan, though. Ben definitely wants to avoid the same amount of penalty points that he got in race number 1. And jump on board with Stinger. No foot movement on the pedals in the cockpit car. It's always good to see. And that is a very good exit there from Stinger, really putting Sullivan under pressure for the 7th position. Again, two drivers, much like Kowaleski and Gill, had a phenomenal battle and traded places off the start in race number 1. And they're looking to do the same again in race number 2. Sullivan holding the track position at the moment. Stinger holding some solid lines through it as well. 4 tenths off the back of Sullivan, the lone Audi driver. Doing his best to represent. Sam Shelton picking up a penalty from 5th position. He's got Andy Withers just behind him. Andy certainly rightfully feel aggrieved for not finishing on the podium in this one. Had a great opening to the race, a little bit of contact, big old send, unfortunately. Has put paid to his podium charge. He does still have 6th position in the win. Ben Sullivan picking up another penalty there. And he is just playing right into the hands of Paul Stinger. He's keeping this nice and consistent and clean, more importantly, and it's causing Sullivan all kinds of issues trying to avoid those problems. Sullivan, Stinger, having a bit of a lock-up on the way down the hill. Got himself a touch closer than he would have anticipated because of that slowdown. He's still got a minute to go to try and catch back up and craft out this overtake. Lloyd Bedouf now with a 10.2 second gap. So commensurate to that he had in race number 1. Phenomenal drive by the Trip 6 Motorsport driver. and certainly proving why he was worthy of the gap that he had between himself and third place in the overall championship. The only driver to have won a race while Luciano Whitvet was on the track. Luciano, of course, winning the other 11. But it is Lloyd Badil's going to finish the season with a hat-trick of wins. So yeah, 22 seconds left on the clock. This will be the closing stages of the race. Oh, stinger. Look how close he's getting still into the hairpin. Has he got a manoeuvre? He opens the corner out, looking for the cutback, looking for the type of exit he needs. Doesn't quite get it. Still within distance though. Still within striking distance. 2 seconds left. Lloyd Badil, Frank Van Roon and Fabio Gill. Race 1 and race 2. All three finishing on the podium. So phenomenal work by those drivers. Gill, of course, one of the Trip 6 Motorsports drivers as well. And Van Roon, I believe, he is one of the Ballas Esports drivers. Same team. Oh, that's Lovas in the chat, just apologising to a couple of drivers for the contact he made in that corner. It is going to have cost Andy Withers that podium. But any second now, Lloyd Badil is going to cross that line. The battle's... Oh, is Paul Stinger still having a look all over the back of Ben Sullivan? This one's getting close. Ah, Simon's... Daddy duty Simon. The joys, the joys. We were trying to give you penalties, Simon, in full honesty. When you watch the programme back, there's actually a mechanism in here that says I can dish out penalties, so we're trying to give you penalties just to mess with you a bit, but we couldn't get it to work. I will for next week though. We're still watching Sullivan and Stinger though. Can Stinger... Oh, Chris Bell's just got to slow down. He's in 10th place. Badil miles up the road at the moment. He has actually crossed the line and taken the checkered flag, so congratulations to Lloyd Badil for another race win. And there is Van Roon finishing in second once again, so a great debut in the series for him. Fabio Gill getting a second podium as well, so congratulations there. Kowaleski did get ahead of Shelton by virtue of the amount of penalty slowdowns that Shelton got. Kowaleski finishing in 4th, Shelton in 5th. Andy Withers coming home in 6th position. Ben Sullivan got himself 7th. Paul Stinger came across the line in 8th place. Great battle between him and Sullivan. Spevar finishing in 9th. Chris Bell in 10th. Craig Gallagher crossed the line in 11th. Lovas and Bagas unable to finish the race. Van Roon almost rolled it. To be honest, Frank, we had predictions. We reckoned there was going to be 3 cars ended up on the roof and none. So I'll have to say, congratulations. My disappointment, yeah, slightly did. I mean, disappointed. Yeah, would have been fun to see at least one. But yeah, great race, great debut. Back-to-back podiums, including the reverse order grid. And there is the confirmation that we were waiting on. Trip 6 Motorsport with a 1st and a 3rd by courtesy of Lloyd Badil and Fabio Gill. Mr. Van Roon in the chat for the Ballas Esports team. In 2nd place, Kowaleski and Shelton. 4th and 5th, Withers and Sullivan finished 6th and 7th. It was Paul Stinger in 8th place. Spevar in 9th. Bell in 10th. And Gallagher finishing in 11th position. Messrs Lovas and Bagas, unfortunately, unable to finish the race. Badil taking, unsurprisingly, the fastest lap as well. So an absolutely phenomenal performance. That's the wrong competition. There we go. Kicked straight out the server once again as well. So no more updates on the result. What we do know is that Luciano Whitvet has been crowned champion for the season. 475 points. Although it is going to be close. Yeah, he is going to win, and it's going to be Lloyd Badulf that's going to hang on to second position. We'll have to check the results as for third. Catalan didn't race this evening, so there may be a slight change in who finishes third. But we will bring you updates of all of that as soon as the final results are confirmed. You can get a confirmation of that at simracing.gp. Just type !raceroom into the chat and it will take you to the community page on the Sim Racing GP website, and you can get involved in all the Race Room Championships and !ACC. We'll of course take you to SimGrid for all our ACC Championships. But that is, as I say, the final checkered flag for the series. Phenomenally successful opening excursion into Race Room the Monday and the Tuesday nights. Looking to return with a bang, and I do mean a bang. Please keep your eye on all the social medias for SOP, the announcements to come. Very, very, very excited indeed. For some reason, the bots still won't let me do a raid. So this is the end for the evening. We will be back, though, Wednesday evening for the conclusion of the Sim Staff Sprint Series. So make sure you get yourself tuned in for that. And until then, stay safe, take it easy, and have a great rest of your night. Good night.